What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Two Goat Show. We're your hosts, Mariah and Steph. Steph, happy Two Goat Thursday. Good to see you. Good to be back. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Excited to be heading out to New York tomorrow and being around other 49er fans out there and hopefully get to see a dub on Sunday.
Hopefully, and hopefully you have no problems flying because I heard a lot of people that are flying that left today, their flights are delayed because of the weather that's in New York. So got to keep an eye on that stuff. I guess they're having really bad weather out there. So hopefully all the faithful get there on time, safely, with no issues. Um, I was telling you before we even went live that and why we didn't have a show last week because I was out of town visiting my mom. So we had went to Zion Park on Sunday and literally had no cell service the entire day. Um, so it was like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and I still had no clue if we had won, if we lost, what what in the world had happened, right? Like I kept trying to check, no service, like damn it. Would get like up the little hill a little bit more, check again, no service, like oh my god, like it was driving me crazy. And finally, then when I get to where the service, like I start getting all the notifications are coming through, I can finally see them, like okay, shit, we lost. And then as soon as I open social media, like every post that I saw, because now I'm trying to catch up, right? So the posts that I'm seeing are old, like that's happening, like that everybody's putting out through the game, and it's just like this injury, and oh my god, we can't make it through games without injuries, and but none of the posts were saying who the fuck got injured. And I'm just like, oh my god, like, and I'm like having anxiety
It was
attack because
everyone.
I'm trying to like get through the damn service, like lack of service, like getting through the post, like who the hell's injured, like so like I had all like, oh my gosh, like it was terrible. And then like I'm going through and I'm like, so what? Like we ended the game with like two D linemen. Like what? How did we even get through the freaking game? Like this shit sounded crazy. Um, so like we literally got back from out of town yesterday, so I still haven't like I've caught pieces, of clips and but I haven't got down to actually sit down and watch the entire game. So Steph, talk to me. What happened? What went wrong? What went right? I saw, obviously Kittle is back, got his touchdown. I saw he had a touchdown stolen from him, but at least, we still got a touchdown. Um, but other than that, it didn't look like very much else went right, Steph.
No, and it was just one of those like typical, early body clock games, travel games for the 49ers where it just looked like they were still asleep and didn't know that they had a game that day. Um, a big difference from the effort we had seen the week prior against the Falcons. So it was disappointing all around. I think to a certain extent, we would have expected the offense to have a bit of a hard time, with the Texans defense being pretty much the best in the league. But I think we also expected the defense to hold a little bit better than, they did in that game. Like, the Texans offense did not look like the struggling offense we had seen from them, some weeks
Yeah,
prior. So it was just very
of course.
disappointing to see CJ Stroud get going, cooking with his receivers, and that was without Nico Collins and Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Like, so it was there was no pass rush, there was no cohesion with the defense. Guys were wide open, it felt like, just continue to be either like miscommunications or coverage busts. So it was just not the type of showing from the defense that you would want to see, repeat itself. And again, like it was tough for the offense too. Like they didn't help the defense out at all, but
Right.
some of that, like I said, was expected. So it just sucked that they both decided to be bad and and play poorly on in the
Yeah.
same game. It obviously you're gonna have a hard time winning when that happens. It's actually incredible. Like they only lost by what was it? Was it 8 points or something like that? Like
Yeah,
or
something
maybe a
weird.
little more actually. But
It's a
they were
weird
within
score.
8 points like until somewhat towards the end. So the fact that they actually had a chance, even into the fourth quarter was pretty surprising, but yeah, they didn't deserve to win that game at all.
Yeah, from everything that I've seen, heard, listened to, got the fan, all of fans' faithful's opinion on it. Like everybody seems to feel that way. Chat, what's up? Good to see you all. I'm seeing the faces I haven't seen in a little bit. Hope you guys have been great. Bebop, Brandon, what's up? Sis, Tanya, good to see you. Chrissy, Silverado, Kev, what's up, my guy? Hope you've been great. Hope everything's been good. Foot says you don't need to watch it. What's up, Foot? I'll probably, take that advice and, might as well just flush this one right down the freaking toilet and move on with my life. McNiner, what's good? What's good? Don, what's up? Um, Real quick, not kind of football related, I guess. I remember our last show. Don had put in the chat, and it's always Throwback and Don, always the first two in the chat, right? Throwback has like been nowhere to be found, so Don had joined the chat and was like, "Hey, Throwback," and I'm like, "Don't say hi to him. He don't love us anymore. He's not here." So after the show, like, and since like I've been searching for him, like I tried to message him and his Twitter like comes up that it's just like he don't have it anymore, like it's disconnected, whatever the freaking word,
Oh.
deactivated. And like I'm asking, like, I asked Peachy and them because I know that he's also a mod on their thing, and she's like, no, like he just disappeared. We don't know, like he's not in any of the chats anymore. He's not on Twitter. So I just want to put this out there. If you happen to be watching, listening, Throwback, or see this, I hope everything's good. You're in my thoughts. I've been thinking about you. If you need anything, there's anything I can do, please, please reach out. My email, if you just are taking a break, like I don't blame you, but I just hope, like everything's good. And that you are missed, like we have been thinking about you. We have been talking about you, like we have been looking for you. So, like we do care. So hopefully everything's good, bro. Um, but yeah, and that for everybody. Hope chat. Hope you guys are awesome. As we get to this holiday season, I know times get tough for some people, so hopefully everybody's doing well. Um, Steph, let's talk about a couple good things that happened. There's far and few in between these days with the 49ers. So, first one, Eddie P, who's been like the shining star for the faithful, I swear. He came to the 49ers and changed our lives. Um, he, of course, like who else deserves it other than him? NFC Special Teams Player of the Month, Steph, not just a week, of the month. So shout out to Eddie P, like the dude, man. Like to just think, like a couple months ago, Steph, like we were sitting here talking about going through kicker hell. Like
I know. Yes.
like we wanted to hang ourselves because our kicker was fucking torturing us. Like he was putting us through a torture chamber every fucking weekend, Steph. Like year after year since he got drafted.
Yeah.
It didn't look like this season was going to be any different, right? Like we were like, okay, they're finally having a kicker competition, and it was like neck and neck. Well, they cut the other kicker before the competition's even fucking over, it's like, oh my god, here we go. Like we're stuck with this shit all season long, right? Like even the first couple of games, it's just like, oh my god, like we're gonna be losing games all season because this mofo, like he hasn't changed, his confidence is still shot, like I thought it was going to be doom and gloom from here on out because of this mofo on our team. By the grace of God, Steph. Shanahan did the unthinkable and got rid of his ass. And here comes Eddie P to save the day. Eddie P sitting on his couch watching the 49ers kicker struggles just like us, Steph. And here he is to save the day. I don't know how this guy was even available. Like, thank God that he was. But like this is what people are always talking about when the 49ers, and I was high on them. Like I wanted them to have draft Moody, not in the third round. But like from all accounts, he was the best kicker coming out that year, right? And we needed a kicker. But everybody kept saying, after the 49ers obviously stupidly drafted him in the third round, like you don't need to draft kickers that high. Like you get undrafted guys that have turned franchises around in that position, like, and they went through like all the drafted kickers and drafted kickers that were drafted this high haven't done shit, and all these low bottom guys have done this, and it was just like, oh my god, like we've seen it, every picture, every story, every freaking thing about it. Guess what? Ours was sitting on his couch. We didn't even need to spend a freaking draft, no draft shit on him at all. Like, there he was. Thoughts, Steph, on Eddie P being the stud that he is?
I mean, it's just proof, right? That last bit you said is just proof that they should have never given up any draft capital for a kicker. It's just not one of those positions that you should do that for when you have guys who are on their couch and can perform the way that Eddie P has, right? So hope they learn the lesson. And yeah, I mean, he's been great. It's so funny because he got this honor, and last week's game he barely did anything. Like, he only had only one extra point, but the weeks prior he's remained perfect, right, as far as field goals go. So I mean, it's been huge. And if you look at the 49ers, I think it's like EPA stats for special teams, like they're in like the middle tier now. They're in like the top half of the league now. And I think a large part of that has to do with the kicker situation being so much better. Like, it's just
started from the bottom, now we here.
Man, it's crazy. Like, so we'll never take it for granted again.
Yeah, tell your friend Jason over there that kickers matter, okay? So
he only respects kickers who do their job.
Oh, okay. So he don't respect that many of them. I was trying to look for what I remember I had saved, or I thought I did. Like, he's like, what, 17 for 17 or some crazy freaking number.
I think it was like 19.
Yeah, maybe 19 for 19 now, but like, and remember when the very first extra point that he kicked, he missed, remember?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, they replaced one with one, like, and then since that, literally money. Like, couldn't ask for anything better. So yeah, shout out to Eddie P. The next good thing that we have to talk about, CMC getting his nomination for 49ers Salute to Service. And the little video, I thought that's what made it the best part, was Kittle doing like the whole like passing of the torch to CMC, because literally I can't remember like who got it besides Kittle. Armstead was the nominees before. Like, I swear it seems like Kittle is always the nominee for so many years that I can remember. And obviously he won it the one year. So to finally get somebody else actually nominated, and you could just tell like CMC was so happy, like with not even just the nomination thing. Like, he was more happy with like Kittle doing like the passing of a torch thing, like from his brother, like, I thought that video was very cute. So shout out to them. And obviously the 49ers as a whole always, and the NFL period, always do so much for, the service members, and, deservingly so. Any thoughts on that, Steph?
I mean, no thoughts. I agree. It's nice to have someone else, get that nomination, and because I feel like there's so many guys on this team who probably do a lot of great community work, and I think is about time to see a new fresh face, and for a face that's as big to this organization as McCaffrey is as well. Yeah. I think it's good. Yeah, hopefully he wins it.
All right, Steph, let's get into some moves. Obviously, trade deadline coming up. We're going to get into, if the 49ers make any moves. If so, who would you like to see them do? But before we do that, the 49ers have made some moves already. So I want to get your thoughts on the couple moves that they made. Obviously, trading for the Pats for D-line Keon White. Is it Keon?
Keon, yeah.
Keon. Keon White. Like, I was watching some past because everybody was like kept showing his, like, when he was drafted, right? And he's just there like all serious as shit. Like, I guess it was his mom next to him crying. He's just like like not one speck of emotion on his face at all. And everybody's like, oh shit, I hope he's like happier to come to the 49ers than he was to get drafted by the Pats, right? And so I'm like, was he really like, was he mad? Like, so I went back to look at some like, different clips of him. And like, that's just how he is. Like, he's always looking like that. Like, so many different things it said that like he's very quiet. Even Mac Jones was asked about him today and said that he's very quiet. And Mac talked to Keon's college coach when the Pats drafted him. And even his college coach told Mac, like, hey, he's very quiet. So make sure, like, you get the guys to, like, get him to come out of a shell or whatever. So it's like, that's just, I don't think he was not happy to be drafted by the Pats, like, as everybody's making it seem. But I thought that was pretty funny because, like, it literally looks like it was like one of those situations like, oh my God, I got drafted to the last place on the earth that I wanted to go. Like, that's how he looked. But hey, like, we need D-line help so badly, especially after last week, Steph. So, getting him at the perfect time. And as Shanahan's been talking about, somebody that can help us this season and next season, because he also is under contract next season, right? So, he was, before I get your thoughts, just a couple things that was said and that he said. He was asked today, because it seems like they changed, right? Like the defensive scheme maybe in New England, and he just didn't fit the scheme or what they were doing anymore. Like, from everything I gathered, like, that's what it really seemed like. Because John Lynch said that he reached out to Mike Vrabel after, like, the stuff, was in, set to get the trade, and, like, pretty much, like, questioned, like, like, is it anything about his character or, like, the person, like, and obviously we traded for him. So I'm guessing Mike Vrabel didn't, like, say, oh, he's a piece of shit and,
Yeah.
bad character guy. Right. So, but so Keon was asked about it, and asked about, like, was it frustrating not playing this much this year? And, from the inside, and he says, no knock to the guys over there. They had a system and everything like that where I was outside. I could have been better on the outside rushing and just roll with what I could have done better. So it seems like he likes to rush from the inside the best. However, he is, versatile enough to be used both. Um, Saleh was asked, when Saleh was asked about him, he pretty much said, like, he's an athletic freak. So, hey, like, we love those around here. Steph, have you watched tape on White? Your thoughts on him, and yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I watched a little bit, and really what I wanted to watch was his 2024 season and just how that season started for him, because that was his best time with the Patriots. And I think I saw some good things. You do see the versatility of him being able to line up on the inside and on the outside. As mentioned, he's more successful rushing from the inside. It just seems to favor his skill set a little bit more. But he could win a variety of different ways. He's got different moves. So I think it's going to be a move that helps the 49ers and gives them options on that line as far as rotations go. I think that's something that they like Robert Saleh always covets. So you got a lot of guys on this line now who do have that inside outside versatility. So it'll be interesting to see how, Saleh kind of uses that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like as far as the fit goes, like how we experienced not being a fit with the Patriots, like I kind of see it as a similar-ish situation to the Bryce Huff acquisition, because in that sense, like, Bryce Huff went from one team that he really fit the scheme with Saleh to going to a team where he didn't fit at all, and you see how that hurts his production, right? So in this case, same team for Keon White, but different coaching staff. So you're still having to deal with a change of a scheme, different system that you're working within. And, you kind of see similar results where you're just not having the same effectiveness that you had before. That plus the fact that they added a lot of other defensive linemen, other pass rushers to the mix. So he fell out of favor because of that. And I think the 49ers truly believe that there's still something there, just like they did with Bryce Huff. Like, you believe in, him being a fit in your scheme and being able to get the most out of him. And, the 49ers stressed, even prior to any trade happening, they stressed the fact that they wanted someone who would help them not just this year, but, next year as well. So that's what Keon White is going to be able to give you. He's only 26 years old. Yeah. So, like, there's a lot of ways this can go. Like, if he has some success with the 49ers, right? So I think this is a really good low risk, high reward kind of move that the 49ers have had, they've been able to turn some luck
Mm-hmm.
on similar trades. So feel good about it.
Yeah. And then a familiar face to the 49ers. The 49ers signed Cleveland Ferrell to the practice squad. Obviously, we know that he was with the 49ers. Now, I wonder because he was with the Chargers this season, right? And on their practice squad as well, I think. And he played one game and then he was cut, if I'm remembering correctly. So then I guess between then and now, he was just chilling. Because
Yeah,
I
well,
don't think no other
he
team
was a
picked him
free
up,
agent.
right?
He was a free
Yeah,
agent when the 49ers just signed him. So
yeah. So I don't wonder what happened over there. But hey, he's willing to come. He said, I love that. He said, what did he say? This is like home. A lot of new faces in the house, but still the same cook or something like that. And I was like, like that's pretty cool. But at least somebody that's familiar with the system, right? Like he knows, like obviously the D line coach, like all that. And shit, like you were able to get him to come in and come into the practice squad. Like I think that's a plus. Hey, we need bodies, Steph. If he's a capable body, like stick him in there and see what happens. Like I don't know how great he's gonna be at this day and age, but hey, he said he's ready to come in and play the best football of his life, Steph. So isn't that what they all say when they get here, right? But let's hope that we at least get, shit, can we get 75% of the best football of your life? Like 80%? Just stay healthy. Can we get that? Like, let's start there. Just stay healthy. Like,
right, yeah.
can we just put you out on the field multiple games in a row? Can we get that out of you? Steph, thoughts on Cleveland Ferrell coming back to the 49ers?
Yeah, I mean, this was one of those like too obvious to not happen kind of moves, especially given the state of the 49ers defensive line. Coming into this week, you only had one healthy, or if you count Bradley King, who was on the practice squad, they had two healthy pass rushers available, aside from God, what's his name? It just blanked out of my head. The other pass rusher guy, the Robert Beal. So aside from that, like you can't go into Sunday's game with just like both those guys. Like it would just not be good for anybody. So yeah, I mean, it was a move they needed to make, and I think it's probably more so just. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being just a 1 week thing, a 2 week thing, because as it stands right now, what Robert Saleh said, Yetur Gross-Matos has a decent chance of coming back this week. That would be huge for the 49ers and the rotation that they have. And then Bryce Huff expected back next week. So I think, given that, it kind of makes Clinton Ferrell a practice squad candidate maybe after this. Or maybe you drop Robert Beal in favor of a Clinton Ferrell, right? So, yeah, I think yeah, a Foot's comment like threw me off. I was like, "What? They're trading for?" Got me in the first half. But yeah, I think it's a move that just needed to happen. We'll see if it has any results other than him just being a body there. But they needed a body, so like for now, it's good enough.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Steph, do you think the 49ers make any more moves before the trade deadline? Now, you guys' favorite dog put out a tweet earlier saying that the Cowboys and the 49ers both would trade for a defensive line guy before the trade deadline. Now, if you do think that they'll make other moves, now, like, is it only D-line we're looking at? Do you think we maybe look at some O-line, some different positions, anybody else, or we're just strictly shopping D-line, or that's it? Where do you think we're at?
I think for the most part, D-line's going to continue to be the point of emphasis. I think that's the position that's been hurting the most. And then I do think the 49ers feel like if the defensive line is better, that the rest will kind of follow, just be a domino effect of the secondary linebackers having an easier time if everything at the front in the trenches is squared away. So yeah, I have a feeling like that's what they're most looking towards. And, kind of what we were saying, right? Like the guys that they have right now, aside from like maybe Bryce Huff, a lot of them are inside outside. Like you need like a pure pass rush guy. And I'm not saying like those other guys aren't like pass rush guys, but it's just like you need someone who that like that's literally all he does and he only lines up outside. Like I think that would be great and a good compliment for everyone else that they currently have, who are kind of like, you know, a little bit of this, little bit of that. So yeah, I think they want to, right? Now, whether it happens or not, I think that's just more of a has to do with other teams saying yes. But the fact that, you know, the Ricky Scoops did say that almost definitively that they were going to make a trade before Tuesday, you know, gives the sense that maybe they've had such good talks with a certain team about a certain player that, you know, it's on the table and maybe waiting for certain circumstances to unfold this with this game or whatnot in order to, you know, inform if they should pull the trigger or not sure, but that's kind of what it sounds like. So I think they might have already something lined up, and it would not shock me at all if that was like, you know, someone like an Arden Key, just because like that's such an easy move for them to make. I think that would be like the low kind of help, and maybe they have someone who they're seeking out who would be a little bit like of a higher, maybe 5th round pick or 4th round. I don't know, like, you know, just someone who would maybe they'd covet a little bit more that they could possibly snag, and maybe that's what they're waiting on. But yeah, I do think like they definitely want to, so I wouldn't be shocked to see it ahead of Tuesday.
What do you think of these other names? Now, Javier Vega had put out a tweet earlier that says, Niners are adding a pass rusher. My guess is Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, or Arden Key. I'd be very surprised if they paid the price for Thibs, Burns, or Hendrickson. I'd pay the price for Dexter Lawrence, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at, let me just do a quick look at Dexter
Lawrence. It's been
Lawrence.
rumored that Jermaine Johnson has been, you know, on the shop for like months now.
Yes.
Obviously, there's size.
Ricky did mention that they're open to trading him, so, which is good. If they know that, you know, he's not part of their long-term plans, like it's just a matter of time that they let him go. So you might as well do it when you could get something back for that player. So that feels somewhat imminent. Now, whether it's the 49ers who jump on it, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Like there's the Robert Saleh connection and all that. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's really just comes down to the asking price. Exactly. Yeah. That's really all it comes down to, and if that's within what the 49ers would be willing to give up. Because another thing, like John Lynch, when he spoke with the media, with KNBR this morning, said like he kept the door open as far as, you know, another possible trade, but he did also say like, you know, we want to keep our picks too, basically. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, they just want to be careful as to, you know, not wanting to hurt their draft, you know, next year for whoever.
That's why I say there's no way we're getting one of those big name guys like Foot says. There's no way they're willing to trade Burns, nor are we going to pay what Burns is worth. Thibs, like Hendrickson, it's rumored they want at least a first, you know, like you got to be able to pay that. Plus, are you going to give him a contract? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, the 49ers are not in a position to, you know, dish out a contract that large. So no, I don't, I'm sure like they looked into it, but I think the asking price would be a little too rich for them. As far as Dexter Lawrence, just looking at his contract situation, I mean, he would make sense. Like his contract ends through the 2027 season, and there's a potential out after the 2026 season, I believe is what it looks like. Or sorry, after the 2025 season. So yeah, it seems like there's some flexibility there if they wanted to go that route. But yeah, we'll see.
like the teams that have these players like have to be willing to give them up as well. Like most teams aren't wanting to part with their pass rusher, and there's about 30 29 other teams that need pass rushers right now. So yeah, like the price on these big name guys, like they're gonna get up there if the teams are willing to let them go. Like, and I can't just see, like, especially Hendrickson, like you're giving up a first plus for a guy that literally could be out the door in
you can't
by the end of the season. Like,
yeah, I mean, whichever team were to give that much would have to sign him to an extension.
Yeah, like you have to.
Yeah,
and with Bosa, like there's no way. So yeah, I was trying to think like about like other positions that we could possibly look for, but I mean, really, like when you look at the 49ers, like, and you see that we only literally before we made those two moves had two healthy players at a position that, like, what? How many did we start the season with on D line? 16, freaking some enormous freaking number. Like,
it was a
always,
lot.
like,
they
yeah,
did more than they usually do. I want to say, but
and like we're not even halfway. Like, are we halfway through the season and we have two healthy D line on the like literally, like that has to have all your attention. Of course, now if you see, that there's a great player that's, you're hearing rumors that a team's getting rid of or trying to get rid of, like obviously you're calling, right? But man, like D line, we really need some help. And of course, these two moves, like they're gonna help, but like let's not act like they're needle movers either. Like,
yeah,
I don't think Cleveland Ferrell coming in to save the day anytime soon. Look at Foot said, how much do you think it's going to cost the Niners when they trade for Burrow in 2027?
Man, Foot hates Purdy though.
I mean, if Burrow doesn't have another healthy season between now and then, it might be kind of cheap. It might be on the cheap end.
But I feel like he gets hurt a lot too. So
he does, exactly.
What are we doing?
Every freaking season he's been hurt. All right. Speaking of injuries, let's talk about some. Nick Wagner tweeted out earlier, so 49ers with injuries who did not practice Wednesday but were in uniform and participating early Thursday session. Linebacker D. Winters, D-line Yuta Gross-Matos, D-end Sam O, defensive tackle Alfred Collins. Only liners I did not see participating: Ricky Pearsall, Bryce Huff, and Jake Brendel. So
that seems positive. I mean,
yeah, I mean, definitely a lot better than we were looking yesterday, Steph. Definitely a lot better than we were looking Sunday night. So I'll take it. And then, as you said earlier, what's his name? Oh, yeah, it was said that Yuta Gross-Matos should be back for Sunday's game. So, I mean, he was playing great before he got hurt. So as long as we can get him back, continue that, we're a little better step. And then obviously D. Winters, not having him out there is going to be would be terrible. So yeah, hopefully he's, well enough to play this week as well. But yeah, I mean, and then when it comes to the quarterback stuff, it's still it seems like no Purdy this week again. It hasn't been said yet. He is practicing some, but I mean, every time that Kyle talks about it, just makes it seem like, now we know Kyle, he doesn't always know too much about injuries, nor does he want to give us too much about injuries, right? But when he talks about Purdy, he genuinely seems like as up in the air and as everybody else. He's just I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. It's just literally when they say day to day, literally day to day. When he gets off the field, we got to see how he's feeling. When he wakes up in the morning, we got to see how he's feeling. When he goes to practice, we got to see and it's just and I know they're joking oh, so what? Purdy's basically going to tell you when he's ready to play. And it's just like, yeah, like, is isn't that how this like pain thing works? Like, like if he's going to make himself worse, or he's going to be playing through too much pain that he can't throw or can't, like, why would we want him out there?
Right.
But then at the same time, it's like, is Mac Jones like we can't have him out there on one toe and one leg and one arm? Like, the guy's like been through so much too,
This is true, but Mac didn't have like a limited, like he had no limitations at all in practice yesterday or today. So I feel like, yes, you got to continue to be cautious with Mac, and you do wonder at a certain point how many hits like he's gonna take. But at least for this week, it seems like he's okay, or as okay as he could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if the 49ers could afford to play Mac another week just so they can make sure Brock Purdy's a little bit closer than 100%, then you do that, and you roll out Brock Purdy, a healthier Brock Purdy in Week 10 against the Rams, with hopefully some other reinforcements to the team as well. We'll see. I guess also, like, you have that concern of this MetLife turf and how that could potentially impact the toe, and just hearing what Kyle Shanahan had to say about the injury, right? I think it just shows the unpredictable nature of how this injury is kind of felt for Purdy. Like, kind of what you were saying, like, it's every day you kind of got to check in and see if it's not worse than the day before, and or it just doesn't seem like the progression on this is necessarily linear. So it's been tricky to try to figure out, but I think that's why it makes it all the more important that you don't rush him back. We saw how in that Jags game that didn't seem to help the situation. Like,
exactly.
I don't know if they necessarily have called it a reactivation or they use that term, but like it kind of seemed like it did, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just exercise caution as much as possible.
Yeah, and then like Kyle saying, like one hit and he gets pretty much set back to, like could be set back to the beginning, and it's
that's
just like
scary.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I remember, and this is the reason, like, I always call this tart toe instead of turf toe, because remember when Dusky Tart had turf toe, and like everybody thought he was just being a baby and milking it because he was just like out for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and everybody's like, you're out for a fucking toe all these weeks, like we have no starting safety, like all this shit, and like it became this joke because it was just like how long are you going to be out for a freaking toe? Like, you literally act like you're dying, like you play football for a living, get your ass out there. And like it seems like it would be even more difficult for a quarterback, especially when that's on your planning foot. Like, you got to be able to plant to throw, so it's like I don't know. And Kubiak like talked about how like Brock's frustrated, like he wants to be out there playing with his guys, and meanwhile, like at the same time, like he don't even know what's going on, right? Like it's his own body, and he's got to still like be asking his own self, like, okay, can I do this? How am I feeling now? Like, after every little freaking thing that you're doing, and you just want to be out there playing football with your guys, like, and I'm sure even more so when like like last week when they're out there losing, like you want to be out there trying to help your team win, right? And like Kubiak talked about the same thing for Ricky P. Like, he's feeling frustrated too because he wants to be out there playing football, and these injuries are just taking so long. But yeah, like I would be scared to have him come back and play this week anyway. Like, I don't care if he played practice the last 2 weeks with not one single ounce of pain, and they were like, he 99% for sure could play this week. Like, I would still suggest they don't let him come back and play because it is MetLife, and it's just like, when is the turf monster going to take your guys? It's just like just a matter of time before it gobbles up another one, and it's just like, I hate playing at this place, and even Kittle was asked about playing here, and he said that he's never played here in his entire life. This is the only stadium in the NFL that he hasn't played in, because he was injured the last time. And he said he's excited to play there so that he can see for himself, like, what makes it so different that, like, everybody's always talking about. But at the end of the day, like, him and Mac both said, like, it's turf. Like, we got to go play football. You go out there before the game. You, like any other field that you're playing on, you check to see how the turf is playing. You adjust your shoes accordingly, and you go out there and play. Like, like, you can't play scared. And so hopefully the best on the injury front. Also, Ben Barch, they said it's a possibility that he returns this week. So, could take all the O-line and D-line help that we can get right now, Steph. I meant to ask you, another person that returned, or that we actually got to see this past week, and I heard it wasn't a good showing, but, it was his first game. Jordan Watkins. Obviously, I've heard all about him dropping his first third down, pass, and it was very catchable. Mac talked about how he went and told him, like, whether you had a good first game or a bad first game, like, you can't make too much of your first game, right? Like, you got rookie jitters, you got all this other stuff. Like, you need to just go to work and make sure, like, the rest is better, right? So did he play a lot, Steph? What do you think? Like, did he look like shit, or, like, do you think it was just jitters? What do we see from that young man?
He didn't play a whole lot. He only had, I think, 2 targets. And I don't remember if he caught one, but yeah, he did have, I guess, what you would call a drop, but yeah, I mean, he probably should have had it, should have come down with it. It was just, I want to say it was slightly high, but yeah, it was through his hands, so he should have had it anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, he's a rookie. I don't know if it was jitters or just rust, because, like, he missed so much time, right? But I'm not worried about him at all. I think, he's probably going to get some similar time going forward as far as his involvement. I can't see him, becoming featured necessarily in the offense right now. So, I think they'll try to continue to give him some looks and give him some targets just to see, how he does, and help him get comfortable, get in some groove, because, like I said, he's missed some time and he's just getting it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was two targets. I thought I remembered that. It was funny because I was talking to Rob and Jay in a group chat, and, like, they were all excited, or Rob was excited that Jordan Watkins was going to play. And I was like, get ready for, like, this stat line. And I literally predicted it almost exactly. It was like 6 snaps, 1 target, 0 receptions. So yeah, that's what I expected, and so I'm not surprised you're, like, disappointed by the performance. I think it just kind of, he's a rookie wide receiver in this offense. He's not going to be, a focal point.
Yeah. But I'm excited, for at least to let him get his shoes wet, let him get out there, get some run. So look to see what he can do this week. But yeah, going into this game, Steph, obviously the new kid on the block, Jackson Dart, they're without their running back. Obviously they lost him due to injury, unfortunately, because that injury looked disgusting. But, like, New York ain't looking like the same old shitty New York that they've been looking like the last few years, Steph. They got a little spark going on up there. How you feeling about this game, Steph? Talk to me. What do we got to do to win this game? Because I'm not trying to drop another game. If we drop another game, like, our record, like Max said it perfectly, like, you win this week, your record's looking great. You lose this week, your record's looking pretty shitty. Like, you're at that spot right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one thing they can't do is go into this game with the same lack of energy that they had last week. And, before the season started, when I was looking at this entire, schedule, I kind of looked at this week 9 game as a potential like trap game for the 49ers.
No.
And the reason why was because it's the second road game of a back-to-back road game weeks, and then another early body clock game. I did predict they'd win the game against the Texans, but potentially lose this one. But now it could be the opposite, right? And you hope that last week was sort of a wake-up call and they kind of just snap back into focus. I am still worried about, the fact that it's a early body clock game, but the fact that they did it last week, maybe it feels a little more familiar and, you're not as low energy. But, I mean, the defense has to look better. I mean, it has to. And, I mean, you have a challenge, coming forward with Jackson Dart. He's playing some good football right now. He doesn't seem to get rattled. He has a lot of, like, swagger to his game, confidence. And so you're not really going to knock him off his game necessarily, but you have to be able to limit him. And the fact that Cam Scadaboo's not going to be playing is, I mean, obviously a huge advantage to the 49ers, but you can't necessarily just think this is going to be easy because of that. Like, you can't overlook Tyrone Tracy, like,
exactly,
and let him have a game like Woody Marks did last week. Like, you still got to stick to the fundamentals, wrapping, tackling, stopping the run. That's where it starts first and foremost. And then you can, like, try to suffocate or limit Jackson Dart as much as possible. But the fact that this game, like, this offense essentially falls all on Jackson Dart, going forward without Cam Scadaboo. And so you're curious now, like, to see what that's going to look like. Is he going to enter a somewhat more frantic mode because he doesn't have, like, Cam Scadaboo is this awesome complementary piece to that offense? Or, like, does he take his game to the next level? You just don't know. But the 49ers have to do whatever they can, I think, to limit his impact. And, that involves, stopping Theo Johnson, who's like a safety blanket for him as far as, his involvement in the pass game. The 49ers coverage is worrisome to me based on what I saw last week. So you do hope that if the 49ers can get a little more pressure this week, or at least, like, contain Jackson Dart, that it'll equate to better secondary play. Because otherwise, like, it's just not going to be a good day. I will say this, though. I think you'll have the benefit of the offense looking better. Like, there's no doubt this offense is going to look better than it did against the top defense in the league last week. And also the Giants have a hard time, stopping the run. And that's probably somewhat skewed by Barkley's performance from last week. But even still, I think there's an opportunity for the 49ers to get the run game going. And with that, it should make things easier for Mac Jones. They'll be in a favorable game script, favorable rhythm for them to be able to sustain drives and actually move the football, something they could not do at all last week. Like, I lost track of how many 3-and-outs the 49ers had last week. And with your defense already struggling, like, you just can't afford to put them out there over and over again and expect that you're going to be able to win a football game. So I think you'll have closer to complementary football this week, I think.
Yeah, it would be nice to see the run game get going. And, that's surprising because with George Kittle back, like, you would think the run game wouldn't have such a freaking difficulty, like you're saying they did against the Texans. But yeah, hopefully, we can get something going. It would be nice to see CMC, have a game like Barkley did. Show them you ain't washed yet, boy. Come on, you can do more than just catch the football. Or hello, like, we have other running backs on this team. Can we, like, get anybody going? I just hate that Kyle doesn't, like, give the rest of the running backs, like, more opportunity. Like, don't just give them, like, 4 touches and expect, oh, well, they didn't do anything with that. So, like, they're running backs. Like, it's a position that the more you touch, like, the ball, the more you, like, get in a rhythm. Like, not just, oh, we're going to give you the ball. Like, one play in between CMC's every 20 touches. And if you don't do nothing with that, well, then CMC is going to have 40 touches before you get the ball again. Like, can we get the other running backs going? Like, I swear we traded for a running back. Like, hello, is he here? So yeah, it'd be nice to get the running game going. And obviously, yeah, like, talking about it, like we've talked about it for years. And really, it just ain't the 49ers. Like, like I feel like we obviously just think it's 49ers because that's the team that we all watch the most. But
Yeah.
I mean, league wide, most teams have a hard time stopping a running quarterback. Like, that's why it's so coveted to get a dual threat quarterback, because it's so hard to stop them. Like, but yeah, like, especially like without our top guys, like without Fred Warner, without a Nick Bosa, like stopping a running quarterback is just like we need these guys to step up. And yeah, Steph, like we have for so many years, we've had a defense that the offense could be asked because we knew the defense would keep saving us and win games for us. Like, for once, offense, like, hello, you have Kyle Shanahan leading the charge. For once, can you guys carry the load? And, like, you got a young defense. Like, sometimes you need to step up, score some fucking points. Like, get in the red zone and put points on the board. Like, as much as we love ADP, like, can we stop relying on him so much and actually score some touchdowns? Like, that might help. And yeah, like, Foot said it the best. Like, Jackson Dart has that dumb confidence. Like, and that's what you want to see. Like, you want to see that from your rookie quarterback. Like, New York fans, like, they got to be loving this, from the shit that they've gone through, and especially starting the season with Russell Wilson and just like shit after shit after shit after shit. And finally, you got this quarterback in there that's like, he ain't scared of the New York lights. Like, he's like, turn on those lights. Like, I'm going to shine even brighter, and just running with it. Right. Like, one of like the rookies that they're just so confident because they don't know any better. Right. It's just like, so, like, I love that. Just don't be doing it against us. Right. So like, continue after next week and you can continue looking like a stud. But yeah, like, they've looked good. Hopefully, our defense comes ready to play. I'm more worried about that matchup, like our defense against their O, than vice versa. Like, I think our offense, as long as like they can pull their heads out of the ass, are able to do something against their defense. Like, I'm not scared of New York's defense as much as I'm scared of their offense. But hey, like, we need all three phases to actually show up and play a complete football game. That'd be nice. Steph, chat, prediction time. What you got? What you got? What you got?
Okay, so looking at, actually, I'm not even going to share this information with you, Miriah, because it's going to help you come up with a better prediction, and I'm not doing that. Okay, my prediction is 26-22 Niners.
What was it?
26-22.
All right. Rob, what's your score prediction?
He's waiting for you.
I'm waiting for him.
You guys share score prediction. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Rob. He stole mine.
Good job, Rod. What's that, Steve-O? All right. Oh, that's why I hadn't even seen this because I scrolled up in the chat.
That's him saying he was waiting for you.
Yeah, I hadn't even seen that, and I was just still waiting for him. But it says 2028 Giants every week. Foot.
I know. I'm like, Foot. Do you ever like go for the Niners to win? Like,
I think he does. Like, that's still that. Like, it's like an opposite thing. Like, oh, if I say the 49ers are going to lose, then they'll win. Like, yeah. I think that's what he does. Because no way you could be that negative. Like, that's Grant behind that profile. Foot cone. What's my score prediction, guys? Only 1 week so far, Steph and I have disagreed, and Steph won that week, so she's up 1
Of
week
course I
on me
did.
as we stand right now.
Yeah.
Because she took the Bucks. So I'm going to pick the 49ers regardless if I think they're going to win or lose. Just so she don't get another game on me. Let's go. I'm going to think the offense is coming to play this week, guys. So I'm going to say 31-21, 49ers. That's
31.
it. That's what I'm
That's
going.
crazy.
Mind your business. Look, Nathan says 30. I don't see you saying shit to him.
That just came through. Like literally just came through. 30-20. That's a lot.
That's only one number off of mine.
That's a lot.
And you said they're going to score 26. That's a lot, too.
Yeah, but it's not 30. It's like different.
That's a 5 fucking points.
It's different. It's 4, Miriah.
From to 31. I said 31.
5 from yours. I don't see them going over 30.
What's up? What's up? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. What else you got going on, Steph?
Well, I did think that I was going to be able to squeeze in my preview show tomorrow, but I'm actually leaving a little earlier than I thought I was. So I don't think I'm going to have time to do a preview show. So yeah, not much, but I keep telling people, like, you know, just check out my Instagram stories, because I'll be like, you'll see what I'm up to in New York and hitting up these invasion parties and whatnot. So just follow me at Steph49K. That's where you'll get the content. And yes, I am going to the game. I don't know if I'd like to do a post game, and I'm going to see Weston out there, so we might do a post game together Sunday night. So yeah, sure you guys check that out.
Nice. Are you going to Chapman's party thing?
Yes.
Okay. So if you guys are going to be in New York for the game, you want to meet the celebrity, there she's going to be there. Maybe she'll do like free autograph signing for you guys, you know, like hit her up, you know, might be worth some money later on. Just share it with me because I gave you the idea, okay? Is this that one? Finnerties?
So I'm going to both. Yeah, I'm planning to pop into that one, and then me and Jay are gonna go to Chapman's after that, because I think like the Finnerties one starts a little earlier, and then Chapman's starts. His is at 4 to 8, I think. So yeah, we're gonna be going after.
Awesome.
So yeah, plan is to go to both.
Well, there you have it. Chat, we appreciate you guys. As always, you guys are amazing. If you guys are traveling to New York, like I said, there's bad weather right now, so please be safe. Have a wonderful time. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great Halloween. If you're going out trick-or-treating with the kiddos and all that good stuff, please be safe. Steph and I will be back next Thursday, same time, same place, as always. Steph, I appreciate you. Have a safe trip. Have a wonderful time with the faithful. And we're out, y'all. Peace.